get right into it. You remember when Lamar Jackson ruined so many people's fantasy drafts a year ago?
Yeah, I was one of. I'd never take a quarterback early, and I did it in my Holy Cross League, and I'll never do it again just because of this guy.
Right. Well, we all drank the Kool-Aid. Is he back? Is he back to being a cheat code now that he's got Bateman in the mix?
I sure think he could be. I mean, you talk about why he was going so early in those drafts. He had in 2019 9 games over 30 points, literally winning you weeks by himself. The quarterback won on 80%, 87%. He was a top 12 quarterback. There's only 1 game below 20 in 2019. And then you look last year, he wasn't horrible. He was a top 12 guy 67% of the time, but he had 4 below 20. He only had 3 games above 30 rather. So the ceiling and the floor took a pretty big hit with this guy, especially when you put in that opportunity cost, a second, third round pick. But I do think when you add in a receiver like Bateman, and after talking to Thor, I'm going to keep referencing him throughout this podcast.
Thor, the God of Thunder?
No, a badass name, the God of Thunder, yes, but from the new NBC Sports Edge, formerly of Roto World. He came on Tuesday.
That's even better.
Even better. Unbelievable insight from Thor on all these rookies. Make sure you listen to it if you haven't. I'm going to keep referencing him throughout the show. He was waxing poetic about Bateman. Complete receiver, great off the line, great at releases, unbelievable in the intermediate range. Essentially a weapon that Lamar Jackson has not had in his entire tenure. And this is a guy who is raw, who came in raw, still is raw, and they never gave him that true security blanket style guy. That's what Bateman can do. And I think he's going to elevate this entire offense to a whole new level we haven't seen under L. Jax. And that's kind of crazy considering they averaged nearly 32 points a game just a season ago. They still were 9th in scoring last year, but I think we see them get back to those heights of the 2019 season. And with that being the case, I think Lamar Jackson's ceiling also goes up, and you're not going to have to pay that second round, third round price. It's going right around 4 or 5. So you could get that ceiling right back and ultimately maybe even higher with this type of weapon there. I love it. The only concern is maybe he runs a little less with an elite receiver there, but still love this move for Lamar Jackson. I think it's going to be huge for the entire offense.
All right, we're going to move right on, but I want to ask just real quick before we do, what's the highest you're drafting this guy? I know this is not legally binding. This could change before the draft, but I mean, if you were going to jump up, I mean, clearly you think this guy's got real potential. What's the highest round you could see drafting him in?
I think generally like late round 4, early round 5 is like the earliest I take a plunge on a QB in general, whether that ends up being Lamar, Dak, Mahomes. Like I have all those guys in the same tier, Josh Allen. If it ends up being Lamar, great. I just think this puts him back into that tier, whereas he was more so a tier below for me with like the Rodgers and them. I could see myself going around 4 and 5, but I need to make sure I have at least one horse, at least one stud receiver before I even consider a quarterback. So I need to have at least 3 picks in the belt before I'm considering this guy.
All right.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.